Students in Nigerian federal universities may have to spend longer times on their programs than they signed up for, as the lecturers union has started a nationwide strike. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, announced its decision some minutes ago and directed all its members to immediately withdraw their services. ASUU National President Biodun Ogunyemi says the reasons for the strike are government's failure to honor agreements that have to do with funding of universities. Professor Ogunyemi is now joining me on the phone. Many thanks for your time.
Good evening.
Many thanks for joining us. Now, you had to make that tough decision. You planned on that last month, but you moved it to this month, expecting a response from the government. That never happened.
Yes, thank you. We have waited for upward of 6 months in taking this decision because we expected government to have fulfilled its part of the bargain. We went on a negotiation that we started March 2017. After 14, 16 months, we could not conclude on the issue of funding. Rather than government addressing our proposal, the leader of the government team, Dr. Wale Babalaki, started insisting that unless we go their way, the negotiation will not go on funding. And we saw funding as the key issue, whether you talk of condition of service or provision of facilities. We are talking of funding. Funding is the issue. So we wrote to government after complaining about the breakdown in the negotiation, and government for 6 months chose to ignore us. And for the memorandum of action they signed with us in 2017, government has been picking and choosing. There are aspects they have on their own. They dragged for 1 full year before implementing, but there are many other aspects that they have not implemented. And we'll put all this together after holding series of meetings and writing letters. Our members felt that it was time that we tell Nigerians that government has chosen to treat us the way they have usually treated us.
Now, how long do you think this could last? I mean, students have been worried over the years. They're spending longer times at the universities. Are you concerned about the students? Are you concerned that the government is also asking, or people are asking, that the universities can actually fund themselves? Do you think that's possible, and how long do you think this could last?
The strike action is indefinite, is total and comprehensive. It will continue for as long as government chooses to ignore ASUU. But for ASUU, Nigerian public university system will have collapsed. Our students should understand that they should not go to the universities to take worthless certificates. The facilities for effective training are not there. The lecturers are not happy with the environment where they operate. And unless lecturers are in good frame of mind, they cannot deliver on their mandate. So we should not continue to promote this game of deceit that government has been doing. We challenge them that government needed to increase budgetary allocation to education. At the negotiating table, the government team told us that we have no business talking about budgetary allocation. But when we pulled out, government hurriedly said they will now give 15% to education. But we were at the negotiating table, and the government team was saying we should not be talking about increase in budgetary allocation. So it's a game of deceit. It's very cheap for government to say they will single-handedly implement some things that they know they will never implement. If they are sincere about the percentage allocation to education that they have told Nigerians about, let them come to the negotiating table and sign it with us that, well, you said we should increase budgetary allocation. Now we have agreed we will increase budgetary allocation to 15%. Look at the last 5 years. In 2014, it was 12%, and subsequent years the thing continued to go down until we have 7% in the last 2 years. 2017, 7%. This year, 7%. And now government is saying they will move it to 15%. But let them come to the table and tell us how they want to achieve that. That is part of what we are saying. Our students should appreciate what we are doing. We are acting in their best interest and in the interest of the parents of Nigerian children.
I mean, it's understandable. Totally 7% of the allocation of 2018 allocation just for education, just 7%, grossly below the recommendations by the United Nations. Now, so far, it's just been a few minutes. Have you heard from the government? Have they commented? Have they called? What have they said?
No, we have not heard from government, but we expect Nigerians to prevail on government to go back to the negotiating table. Government has been picking and choosing. One of the things they promised in September last year, which is giving 20 billion to universities in October last year. They just did that in September this year, which means it took them 1 year. The 20 billion they even promised was a token to serve as a sign of commitment towards increased funding. We have a total of 1.1 trillion pending that they promised they will give to universities in the last 3-4 years. Government has not done anything about that. So when they released 20 billion and they went to town to make noise about release of 20 billion, they even said they gave us, which is not correct. So they released 20 billion as a sign of commitment towards implementing an MOU government signed with us in 2013. And they have outstanding 1.18 trillion that they are supposed to have released, and which will terminate by 2019. So we expect government to come back and tell us how they will how they will implement the pending aspects of the agreement they signed with us.
Thank you very much for your time. We wish you had time to talk about the pension administration, which is your concern, and also the comments about management of funding for education in Nigeria. But we appreciate you. Many thanks for your time, Biodun Ogunyemi.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.